NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, presents Aeronautics and Space Report.
For 10 days, Apollo 9 crewmen McDivitt, Scott, and Schweikart methodically photographed the meeting and joining of their two spacecraft and trips outside. Fired the various engines, and generally rehearsed a lunar landing and return. The near-perfect mission of Spider and Gumdrop paved the way for the next manned flight, Apollo 10.
Simply stated, the purpose of the Apollo 10 flight is a final test of the men and machines required to do the lunar landing mission. The flight will be 8 days in duration. Liftoff will be from Cape Kennedy on the Saturn V moon rocket. The flight will take 3 days to get there. After arriving at the moon, the work in lunar orbit will be characterized by a rendezvous with the lunar module. The two astronauts will enter the lunar module and put it through a series of paces, including a descent to 8 miles above the surface of the moon, much as we have to do on the lunar landing mission. After rendezvous and docking back with the command ship, the pilots will separate the lunar module and perform tracking and mapping exercises for the rest of the 2.5 days in lunar orbit. After that time, trans-Earth injection back to the Earth, a coast of about 2.5 days back to the Earth, followed by splashdown in the Pacific Ocean southwest of Hawaii.
Astronaut Thomas Stafford will be command pilot on Apollo 10. Here he's shown following the flight of Gemini 9, one of 2 previous space missions in which he took part. Stafford, 38, comes from Weatherford, Oklahoma, and has been in the astronaut program since 1962. With him on Gemini 9 was 35-year-old Eugene Cernan. It was on that flight that Cernan spent more than 2 hours outside the spacecraft. He now teams up with Stafford again for Apollo 10 as lunar module pilot. The two of them will fly within 8 nautical miles of the moon's surface. The third member of the crew, and serving as pilot of the command module, is 38-year-old John Young. This will be Young's 3rd space flight. He flew twice before during Gemini. The 3 of them first worked together as a team when they served as backup crew for Apollo 7. While the astronauts have been training, their spacecraft and rocket have been readied for flight. From Long Island, New York to California, Alabama to Pennsylvania, parts and pieces come together for final assembly at the Kennedy Space Center, Florida. The end product? Nearly 9 million pieces and components stacked 363 feet high. Apollo 10, final flight before this country's first lunar landing.
This has been an Aeronautics and Space Report presented by NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.